Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Cook.
And I'm Ryan Yamamoto. We begin with the ongoing turmoil at San Francisco-based First Republic Bank. Its stock dropped another 30% today. Federal regulators and the nation's biggest banks are now debating over a rescue package.
And of course, First Republic's problems are causing anxiety for everyone, from customers to the feds. Here with more insight on the impact, Emmanuel Soquera. He's an accounting and finance professor at San Jose State. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Can you give us a basic explanation as to what trouble First Republic is facing right now? How intense is it, and how did they get here in the first place?
So what I can say is First Republic Bank similarly faced some of the issues that Silicon Valley Bank faced just a month ago. First Republic Bank focused on some high wealthy clients, and they focused on giving mortgages to these wealthy clients at pretty attractive rates last year. However, they didn't predict the Fed would increase interest rates so drastically, and now those mortgages are worth much less than they were before. And so over $100 billion got pulled out of depositors, pulled their funds out of First Republic Bank in the last month since the failure of Silicon Valley Bank. And that situation can't go on forever. And that's the situation that First Republic Bank is faced with today.
Now, some analysts say the collapse of First Republic is imminent. It's only a matter of time. Do you agree with that assessment?
So while I can't predict the future, what I could say is that First Republic Bank is in a financial trouble, but they are trying to find ways to alleviate some of those issues. For example, they have enlisted some of the big banks to serve as advisors, and basically they're offering the big banks an option. They're saying, hey, we have these failing assets. How about you buy some of these at above market prices and basically take a little bit of a loss, a few $1 billion of a loss. Or if we do fail, you're going to have to pay the FDIC special assessment fees that could go to the tune of $30 billion. Now, the big banks are also worried because they helped give $30 billion of uninsured deposits to First Republic Bank. And so now they are involved as well to try and alleviate some of these issues. So I think while I can't predict that they will or will not fail, I can say that they're trying to prevent any issues from happening and getting worse.
Yeah, I'm curious if the government can do anything to make sure that other banks don't follow suit like First Republic, who have a similar setup.
So what I can say is the government sort of learned from some of the failures that like Silicon Valley Bank, and basically Treasury Secretary Yellen said the government is open to insuring deposits above $250,000 that the FDIC generally has in case of an issue of contagion. And the government now doesn't want to look like they're bailing out every single bank. It doesn't look good if they just save every bank that could have made some risky decisions. So what they're trying to do is force the hand almost of these big banks by saying, hey, how about you get together and try to come up with a deal, because you're going to face bigger losses if this bank does fail. And so now they're considering another option to potentially downgrade First Republic Bank's CAMELS rating, which is the equivalent of their sort of credit rating, and basically make it harder for First Republic Bank to get funds from the Federal Reserve, which would then make their failures sort of more likely, which would then cause the big banks to really take some measures to step in and try to prevent this so that this doesn't spread even further than it has already.
Yeah, I mean, my last question is, what about the folks who took out loans from First Republic Bank? Not necessarily those who are super wealthy and have a lot of money invested in these banks. What about the little guys that maybe took out some loans to make upgrades on their homes?
So basically, the loans are basically assets of the bank. The bank is the one who's facing those losses on the loans. For example, when Silicon Valley Bank failed, the FDIC took on receivership of the Silicon Valley Bank's portfolio, including the assets, and then sold it off to the next buyer. So they will continue to be having to pay their payments, make their payments as usual. It will just depend on who they're going to pay to next if the bank does fail.
Okay, somebody else might be taking on that loan. All right. Professor Emmanuel Soquera from San Jose State, thank you so much for this great information.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.